Buddy back.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So I would say, I think one that comes up a lot is the alcoholic or drug user type of thing where
no.
Well, actually, so if the reason why the breakup occurred was because of someone having issues like that, but then they have cleaned up their life and demonstrated it, not just told you and not just said that they will, but have demonstrated this for 6 months. They're clean. They're got their life on track. They're good now.
I would say I would have to do 2 years, I think.
2 years of being clean? Mm-hmm. I mean,
like that's a big deal. It affects a lot of people around you. And then a lot of times people act like they're not responsible for their behaviors in those instances. No. 2 years for me.
I mean, that's a long
2
time.
Years for me.
I would say that 6 months is good. I mean, it depends on the person, depends on the situation, right? And it depends on if it's how extreme their life was turned upside down. I would say, but I think in those situations that is also a play. Like there's a difference between someone coming back because they're like, oh, I'm gonna fix all these things, and I'm sorry I did these things to you, and whatever, and you have a toxic relationship versus someone whose life is messed up, they straighten up their life, they come back. Again, it comes down to, is it a relationship issue or not, right? Because if you have a relationship and you can't fix it in the relationship and it's a relationship issue, it's not going to get fixed outside of it when you don't, like the relationship is for you to work on that.
But the thing is with the addiction and the alcohol, that does affect the other person a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other person is so addicted to the substance or the alcohol that doesn't even cross their mind. And so that's why I think it'd take longer, like for me personally.
Yeah.
6 months just seems like an easy amount of time to relapse in my mind. I almost said a year, but I think I would do 2 just to like, have it really there because I understand that addiction it's really hard to not be addicted to something.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So that's why it would need to be more. And I think that like substance abuse and alcohol abuse and things like that typically do damage the relationship. And so I think that that's also why it would need more time to figure out, because even if it's not intentional, it's still inflicting damage on the relationship. And the person that's addicted doesn't even have a full grasp of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it is a severe circumstance. But what else was I going to say? The other thing I was going to say is about, like, if you do take someone back, how do you take them back in terms of, and this would be more akin to if there are relationship issues, but you're going to work through them, which again is a kind of a danger zone. But that's why I would say in that situation, right? Because I've had guys that I've coached that have had broken up with a woman for some pretty good reasons. And then she wants to come back. Well, actually, I guess that's her wanting to come back after they've broken up, which is kind of weird because I guess that scenario can happen, right? So you can, there's 2 scenarios that can happen, right? You can break up with someone and then you could try to come back to them, and then should they take you back? Or you could break up with someone and you both kind of go your separate ways, and then the person you broke up with comes back and wants to change the things for the reason why you broke up with them. That's also a taking back.
Yeah.
Did I make it too complicated?
No.
Okay.
So you can either break up with somebody and then you choose to take them back or not, or you break up with somebody and then they try to come back because they're trying to fix the things.
Right. And so in that scenario, that's where I've given the advice of, okay, now you've got to be really clear about the standards that you have, right? So and they have to meet those things.
Here's how I feel about that.
Okay.
About the person breaking up and then someone coming back.
Yeah.
Because they worked on the things.
Right.
Unless it was very obvious and the things seemed like pretty permanent, ingrained at this point, I still don't know if I'd take somebody back.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the thing. it's going to be a lot harder to work through that, even if the person has changed and you take them back. Like, you're still going to be almost triggered. What if they're going to act this way?
Right.
So they have to have patience with you.
Right.
You might put too much pressure on them where they have to be perfect and never mess up, or you'll get upset with them and think they're going back to who they were.
Yeah.
So that's going to take a lot.
Yeah.
So can it be done? Yes.
Right.
Do I think it should be done? Most of the time, again, probably not. Because at the end of the day, I think it's easier to take what you learned from someone breaking up with you and being like, you know, you didn't listen to my feelings or whatever they say. That is the reason. Take that. Work on it to be a person that like is healing that part of them.
Right.
And then move on to a different relationship because it's just going to be really hard. And I don't know if everybody wants it bad enough in that situation to really work through it. Now, if they do, I think it can work. Well, I do. Yeah. But I don't think that people want to work that hard in a relationship.
Yeah, there has to be true remorse, like a true, you know, like not to get into the specifics of the detail of the situation that I dealt with one of my coaching clients, but the woman had tried to come back to him multiple times after he had broken up with her for some specific reasons. And every time she was trying to come back, she's like, I miss you. You know, it's like, it wasn't, I'm sorry I did this or disrespected you constantly, or it's like,
sounds like she was just lonely.
Why are you being so difficult?
Somebody.
It was almost like, why are you making a big deal out of nothing? It's like, that's showing that, okay, it's not, nothing has changed here, right?
But that's also what men say a lot to women too. Why are you making a big deal out of nothing? Yeah. So it's like men can kind of see the frustrating part, right? When a man expresses what bothers him and then a woman's kind of like, why are you making a big deal?
Right.
You know? Yeah. So, and I agree with that like, she never was saying like, I am sorry I hurt you and I'm sorry I did these things, which that's why too, that she keeps saying, I miss you. And then the last time she says the right thing, I wouldn't trust that personally. Yeah. I'd be like, now you just figured out the right way to say something. So that's why, unless you feel like this is your soulmate, this is your person. Right. They're going through a hard time, but they're really trying, and you like know that person well enough and you think the relationship is worth saving. Yeah. Don't take somebody back. Yeah. Go on to something else. Yeah. And because it could be better for you.